Hey, what's going on, Black people? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and sometimes on Friday nights or Saturday nights when it's late, I do something called Dr. Boyce Exposed. And in Dr. Boyce Exposed, this means you can ask me any question you want about any topic, and I will give you an honest answer. You can ask me anything. You can ask me Dr. Boyce questions about financial stuff, of course, because you know my PhD's in finance, but I also have a PhD in life. And so you can ask me Uncle Boyce questions. And I do this because I like being a resource for anybody that just wants to know my perspective on things, or maybe if you're a young person who could use some good advice, because a lot of people give you bad advice. That's why people fail in life, is because they get a bunch of bad advice from stupid old people who are scared to try anything new. And I like to think maybe my advice can help you. So, Dr. Boyce Exposed, you can literally ask me any question and I will give you a very quick and honest answer. Sometimes I'll go on with a more prolonged answer, but for the most part, I try to keep it short. So, how's everybody doing? Let me know what city you're from. Let's see. Kramer says, "Good morning, sir. How does interest rates affect financial markets?" Basically, when there's two types of interest rates. There's what they call the nominal interest rate and the real interest rate. The nominal interest rate includes inflation. So sometimes the nominal interest rate may be higher than the real interest rate. It usually is. So interest is basically the cost of money. So what the government does if they want to slow down the economy is they'll raise interest rates, which in most financial models will, pretty much hammer stock prices down and also bring the economy back under control. So higher interest rates. If you ever hear that the Fed is raising interest rates, just know your stocks are probably going to get hit pretty hard, and the economy is probably going to take a dip because of it. Young deity, 60K. I had no kids. What would you do? If you have $60,000, I would find my passion and learn how to start a business in my passion. And if you can't do that, if you want to be more passive, invest your money and go right to the stock market. That's the easiest way to start investing. But then really owning things like real estate is truly powerful. So keep some cash though, because you don't want to run out of cash. Levon, how should I put money into a fintech ETF or fintech stocks? Um, hmm. I would say the ETF gives you broader diversification in what is emerging as a pretty competitive space. You don't know which particular fintech company is going to win the competition, but you know fintech is here to stay. Alton Roundtree, can I have $1,000 to invest in the stock market? Sure, just call your mama. Call your mama, Alton. Alton, your mama's calling. Your mama got you $1,000. I'm messing with you, brother. I'm messing with you. Uh, no, I can't do giveaways because Alton, if I give you the money, I got to give it to everybody. I can't afford to give everybody $1,000, but I can give you $10 million worth of game and $10 million worth of knowledge. How about that? All right, next. Hey, Donovan out of Alexandria, Virginia. Solomon says, should I invest in the TDeFi token? I have not heard of the TDeFi token. Be careful about investing in any new token that pops up because people are out here just kind of on a paper chase. So you got to be kind of careful. Do you think Africa will rise again? Asked Mundi. Absolutely. Just so you know, this rest assured, the next 100 years belong to Africa. Africa has the youngest population on Earth, and Africans are getting better and smarter and sharper every day. And if they can get under some sort of unified game plan, which might just be one like this says we're tired of Europeans and Chinese people coming and taking all of our resources. I think Africa is going to be a power player in the next couple generations, probably after you and I are dead. But rest assured, you can when you die on your deathbed, you can know that Africa will be rising again. All indicators are pointing to Africa. VBES don't die. As a college student, what's the best stock to invest with my $1,000? I say an S&P 500 Spider SPDR. That way you can get diversified. I wouldn't go gambling with it. Christopher, or if you take an entrepreneurship class, maybe you could put it into a business. Then you could turn that 1,000 into say $1,000 a month in extra income or something like that. I've seen people do that. Christopher, hey Doc, where do you think the economy is going in the next year? I'm from Atlanta. I think the economy still has a lot left in it. I think that once this virus thing is behind us for the most part, I think you're going to see a lot of what they call pent up demand. So I do have good expectations for the economy of the next year. Che Alexander, what best percentages to contribute to 401k when the company matches 6%? I would max it out. Maxing out your 401k is one of the quickest paths to wealth. A lot of people become millionaires that way. Free My Grandma says, I have a few grand in a penny stock called Elis. I never hold penny stocks or play them at all. really but this is an interesting one. What do you think? I say if you want to play it, that's cool. Leave your money there, but also make sure you're investing in stocks that have a stronger track record. Penny stocks sound good because you're like, oh, if the stock's only a penny and it goes up to 3 pennies, then I could triple my money. Yeah, but penny stocks tend to be very bad markets. They tend to have low, what they call liquidity. It's hard to trade. I knew a guy who bought a crypto for like a penny, and the crypto went up to like $20, right? Which is a dream come true, right? Because he made an insane amount of money. But when he tried to sell it, he couldn't sell it. He couldn't find anybody to take the transaction, so he didn't get the money that he thought he was going to make. So just be careful. Let's see. Tony Evans, what happens when money is no more needed and honored? Well, I say we cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Jeru Drew, I'm starting as a financial advisor soon, but also want to educate people on options to retire other than a pension, like a tax-free savings account from South Africa. Yeah, well, really, a retirement plan is basically having a bunch of assets you can lean on when you get older. So even your children are should be part of your retirement plan. If you raise smart kids that work hard and that love you, that'll take care of you, that's better than just having to give all your money to an old folks home, right? So raise your kids right, so your kids don't like want to push you out in the traffic in your wheelchair when you get old. The more you pour into young people, the more they'll pour into you when you get older. So retirement isn't just 401ks and pensions and savings accounts. It's much, much more than that. Let's see. Casey says, I just came to a lump sum of money that I need to flip fast. What do you suggest that I do without taking a big risk of looking at it all? Yeah, I would be careful. When you get into that fast money stuff, just don't invest in anything you don't understand. Like sometimes you can luck out. Maybe you can put your money into something where somebody already has an established product and they're making money, and they say, look, if you put in 10,000, I can give you a piece of the business and you can earn a certain amount of money. I've seen opportunities like that emerge, but what I've also seen is a lot of scenarios where people see that you have this money and they're like, hey, come take my class for $5,000, or hey, come, whatever, like, and you end up putting your money into something and not getting it back. So be extremely careful. You might want to get some people to sort of maybe join a group. Just join a group of investors, a group of wealth builders who without putting you into some MLM or without pushing you into some blessing loom can really give you something that's solid and fundamental that'll help you build wealth slowly. Getting rich quick is not usually the way it happens. It's really a consistent process. Let's see. Lanier says, Boyce Sabir Bey talks about our history and law. Why doesn't anyone reach out to him on black issues? I don't know, but I've had Sabir Bey on my show, and I like Sabir Bey very much. He's a very nice guy. Tell him I say hello when you talk to him, because we had a great conversation. Cassandra says, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, what's all the hype? Crypto is just kind of the wave of the future. I get involved mostly with Bitcoin and Ethereum, a little bit of what's it, Engine Coin, because of the metaverse and all that stuff. I think Polkadot, I got in some of that, and I own about 20 cryptos. But yeah, crypto's the place to be. You really want to pay attention there. Let's see here. Alton says, I'll take the game. Okay, good. Smart man, smart man. Jay Will, how do you feel about Bitcoin and other coin-based products? I love crypto. I own quite a decent amount of it, but not more than maybe about 12% of my portfolio. Darlo, running in and out, but just wanted to say what's up, my brother. Hey, how you doing, Darlo? Good to see you, my brother. Marlon Jones Childress, perspective of NFTs. NFTs come off as overpriced to me. I wouldn't buy an NFT, but I would sell an NFT. In fact, I'm going to start minting NFTs. I got to get around to it. One of our crypto experts in the Black Business School, actually, Carla Ballard, that's her name. She was actually showing students in class how to create an NFT, how to mint your own NFTs. I think I'm just going to make a whole bunch of NFTs and just have them on the market. And if people want to buy them, they can. I'm not going to go buy anybody's NFT right now. I just don't see the value in terms of, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're stupid for doing it. I'm saying that until I personally intrinsically see the value and feel it, I'm not gonna make a move. Sometimes I just stare at something and think about it for a while. Just like with the pandemic, I didn't make a decision until I made a decision. I didn't let what everybody else is doing shape what I did next, right? So, and by the way, actually, if you go to boycewatkins.com, we actually have our crypto investing club, as well as some other alternative investments like Forex and stuff like that, and an alternative investments package that's about 76% off. So if you're into that kind of thing, feel free to go to boycewatkins.com, and you can look at the top and you'll see kind of our latest Black Friday offer. And it's only there for 24 hours, but it's a massive discount just for Black Friday. Levon Harley, should I use a personal loan if I have no other debts and I need some quick cash to invest in stocks, like say 10K or more. I don't think that's out of the question. If your interest rate is really low, when people borrow to invest all the time, just be extremely careful. He says, let's see, Ben YouTube says he says, ask me any question, but he doesn't mean it. This is clickbait. Well, I think your comment is probably clickbait. So get off my channel, you bonehead. Anyway, I'm messing with you, man. You can stay here. Maybe Ben YouTube will get some education up out of here. What's an NFT? An NFT stands for non-fungible token. It's basically the tokenization, or it's the digital manifestation of some sort of asset that ends up containing some sort of financial value. So NFTs are kind of all the rage. You may want to look into it. Jay Ortiz, shout out to Jay Ortiz in Philadelphia, who has the first ever NFT art gallery. I think even not just in Philly, but in the country. So Jay is a rapper, but Jay is super smart. He's an artist. He runs Art from the Heart. He's going to be a billionaire one day. He already owns over $1 million in assets as a 29-year-old. But I think by the time Jay is 40, Jay will be close to being a billionaire. He's kind of like a young Kanye West. He's just a brilliant young guy. So shout out to Jay Ortiz. Kamer Joyner says, hello, sir. Do you have a personal mentorship groups, free or paid? Well, we do have something. Again, if you go to boycewatkins.com, there's some stuff there. I have a lot of stuff that we do in the Black Business School. It's not just me. We literally have about 50 Black experts from all walks of life, from crypto to stocks to, we have people that our hotel investing group has done over $4 billion worth of hotel transactions. We have real estate experts like Herb Strather that we partner with, Jay Morrison, Julian Gordon, who've done millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate deals. So we have a lot of stuff in the Black Business School. We're better than Harvard. We're absolutely 100% better than Harvard when it comes to Black wealth, because other universities pretty much teach Black people to go work for white people. We teach you how to work for yourself. We teach you how to build assets in your community. We teach you how to really go back and engage in what we call Black gentrification. Black gentrification is where you take over the land, you take over the assets, you take over the property, and you make it into what it's supposed to be. So you're not just serving other people, you're serving yourself first. So that's what I think makes us better than Harvard, Yale, Stanford, any of those other schools. All right, so feel free to go take a look. BoyceWatkins.com is where you can start if you want to. Hey, who is Bitcoin Rodney? I have no idea who Bitcoin Rodney is. I am going to Google that, though. Judah, take the land back from our oppressors. Yes, absolutely. Sakil says, I'm from South Africa. Have you heard of Stokevilles? No, I have not. What are your thoughts on applying this to the housing market? I've not heard of Stokevilles. I got to write that down and look it up. I'm sorry, Sakil. I've not heard that term before. Judah, blacks were here first. Yes, we were. Fat boy, foolish. What's the best way to teach our Black people we don't have any money to invest in courses? The best way to teach Black people, well, if you say you don't have any money to invest in learning, the question is, do you have money to invest in other stuff? Do you have money to invest in shoes? Do you have money to invest in car notes? Do you have money to invest going out? Do you have money to invest in clothes? Do you have money to invest in iPhones? Do you have money to invest in all the other things you spend money on? Now, I'm not trying to tell you to go pay for a class. Like, by the way, you can do stuff in the Black Business School for free. Like my Wednesday book club, where we're going through Dr. Claudia Anderson's books, Black Labor, White Wealth, and Powernomics. That's totally free. If you go to boycewatkins.com, look for Black Keys to Greatness in the book club. You can join that totally for free. So don't think that you have to pay money to learn in the Black Business School. But because we want to stay independent, we don't want to go to the government. We don't want to go to corporations. We don't want to have to go ask white folks or Asians to pay the bills. We know freedom isn't free. So we have to, at some point, respect our experts by charging a fee. Now, if you go to any of your universities, your mediocre universities like University of Iowa and stuff like that, they're going to charge you thousands and thousands of dollars for the very same stuff that you can get from us for maybe $400 or $500. And the other thing too is that we do other universities don't do, is we give a 100% money back guarantee. So if you're not happy for any reason, the first 30 days you can get all your money back. So all of our customers, all of our students are extremely happy. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com and take a look. Or if you want to, just get on the email list and then just check it out. And you'll learn more from me. You'll learn more from us for free than you learned spending $100,000 at any university you've ever attended. We've got 1 million testimonials making this statement, and it's true. All right, so anyway, let me keep going. And don't forget, my PhD's in finance. I taught at Syracuse University, where the students pay $70,000 a year. I know what they're giving you there, right? And what I did was I enhanced it and blackified it to make it more specific to what we need to do as Black people, because we need a specialized education. That's the reason formal education has not worked for Black people, is because it's not focused on building the community community. It's focused on building the white community, right? Well, if I'm white and I own a school, why would I not build the school to make sure every student benefits my community? So that's what's kind of happened. That's what it is. Let me keep going. All right, so let's see here. As a self-employed entrepreneur, how do I secure myself for retirement? Looking into things like SEP IRAs, I think as an entrepreneur, it's interesting. As an entrepreneur, you got to take more risk, but you also have to be more conservative, meaning that you have to engage in what is called income smoothing. Income smoothing means that when your money's big, you don't just go spend big. That means you have to save big, right? It's because you're saving for a rainy day, because at some point it will rain and you don't have someone to necessarily bail you out unless you're lucky enough to have a lot of financing. So as a self-employed entrepreneur, what I would be thinking about doing is pouring my money into assets, maybe creating other entities like trusts. I would look in definitely the SEP IRA and things you can write off on your taxes. That's a great way to shelter some of your income from taxation. Also, and just remember that when you're talking about retirement, the question is, can you transfer your assets into something that's a little more passive, right? So when I get older, I don't want to be, when I'm 90, I don't want to be working every day to make my money. I want to have my money in assets that will pay me, just because I'm the owner, right? So you want to think about the nature of your investments. Some investments require more work than others. So get with your financial planner, talk to them about it, and make sure you have a plan. You got to have a plan. Levon Harley says, stay away from 401ks, too many fees, and you don't have control over the investments. Roth IRAs are better. Okay, I think that's a preferential thing. I don't think 401ks are necessarily all that bad all the time, but I do hear your point, though. I think, Levon, what your point is certainly valid. I wouldn't say that it's definitely a no, though, all the time for 401ks. I think it depends on the kind of investor you are. Some people like that. Some people like things being hands off and very passive, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. Are you invested in Workhorse? Yes, I am, Jermaine. I have a lot of money in Workhorse. Mal, will Ethereum pass Bitcoin? I don't think it will. Logan Buchanan asked about Lego. You mean Lego the company? Sorry about that. Let's see. Big CEO says, talk about young Haitian men, true powers, and how can free ourselves from unfortunate curses within family lines. There's a difference between excuses and real bad luck. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you made a statement. I don't see a question there, but I hear you. Let's see here. Let's Be Blunt says, why do you delete comments when people respectfully disagree with you with statistics to back up their argument? Well, I don't think I do that, but maybe I do. Maybe I am that kind of an asshole. I try not to be, but sometimes we all make mistakes. So I apologize if I've ever hurt your feelings. Black Shadow, Boyce, can you buy me a pair of those glasses? Ah, ha, ha, ha. You know what? Those are glasses that actually become sunglasses when I get in the sun. How funny is that? So when I go outside, I have sunglasses on, but when I'm inside, they become regular glasses. So I literally wear the same pair of glasses all the time, whether you see me inside or outside. Isn't that funny? How was your workout on Turkey Day? It was very helpful because I ate so much food the day before. I was so fat, and that 4 mile run really helped me cleanse my soul. Sherwin LeBlanc says, I've had my bonds since 97. Should I bail out since we are in inflation or just hold on? I'm not a fan of bonds, Sherwin. I'm just telling you, not a lot of people ain't messing with bonds right now just because of that. Exactly what you just said. The inflation's so high. If you do anything other than put your money into stocks or real estate or in your business, you're gonna not get anything back. Like putting your money in a savings account is like donating money to the bank. It's kind of sad though, because it's kind of like, well, where's this country going? Like, what's the end game in this, infinite inflationary spiral? And some say that it ends with the whole global economic system collapsing. Yeah, I hear that, but you got to understand, people have been predicting the end of the global economic system probably since about 100 years before you were born, right? So you know, it's nothing new to predict the end of the world. I just assume that the world isn't going to come to an end and try to position myself best accordingly. But you might be right. Maybe the world will come to an end in 2022. I don't know. In Germany, I hear a lot of bad news about situations of blacks in the U.S. Is there a difference between Europe and the U.S. for a black family? I think the U.S. would be seen as a little bit worse. The racial tension is a little stronger. There are um, race. I call it, you call it almost like race war deniers or reparations deniers, who almost deny the fact that black people owe reparations, which make them the equivalent of Holocaust deniers. Black people or people in America who don't listen or support the reparations for black people. They're a lot like Holocaust deniers to me, and a lot of them are in the Democrat and the Republican parties. So would I say Europe is automatically better? I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of, you know, I don't know. I kind of just think, I don't think anybody's gonna do anything good for black people, to be honest with you. Latrice, I want to quit my job. I want to pull my pension of 109K. I have a property management company and lawn care service, but it hasn't replaced my income. Should I pull my pension? What should I do with it? I would be really careful about pulling your pension, Latrice. You can borrow against it. Remember, if you pull it out and you're not old yet, you're not over 59 and a half, they're going to penalize the hell out of you, and then they're going to tax the hell out of you. So I would look into maybe borrowing against it a little bit, but be extremely careful, because if the question is like, how much can you do without spending a nickel, right? So you got a property management company, which is great, and a lawn care service. So I might consider talking to someone, bringing in a consultant, bringing in, like, maybe, I don't know if it'll be a matter of paying a consultant or some sort of business coach or somebody to really look at your business and help you figure out how to expand it, right? Or maybe finding some place, where someone might do it for free, or a group you can join, an investment club where you can say, here's my issue. I have these businesses, but I want them to make more money, and figure out what the plan is, right? And then see how much you can do before you quit your job. Like, I didn't just quit my job and then start my business. I started my business, then I quit my job, right? So maybe your business isn't ready, and I don't want you to be stuck out here living off your pension forever. But it is good that you have 109K in your pension plan. That's good. You've got a nest egg. You're kind of financially secure, and I think that's great. But I wouldn't necessarily go liquidate all of it and pay all those taxes and fees and penalties. I would try my best to get that lawn care service moving and that management company where you want it to be, so that you can walk away and keep that pension money as your nest egg. But again, knowing that it's there means that you won't be homeless, which is really good for you. Miss China Doll, will you teach how to create an NFT? I'm not an expert on crypto, but we do have a Black Crypto Investing Club. If you go to boycewatkins.com, at the very top, we have an alternative investments offer which actually comes with lifetime access to the Black Crypto Investing Club. That alone is worth it. Like the Black Friday deal is really, really good. So it's only there for 24 hours, but if you're interested, feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. It's the offer right at the very top. Free My Grandma says, thanks, Uncle B1. You're welcome. Let's see. Young Deity says, okay, you would invest overall. Makes sense. I also don't have any outstanding debts. Okay, good for you. Plus kids, zilch, good. And I want to relocate to the South. You alluded to real estate, which is more economically sound. I think young Deity, you're on your way, man. I love it. I like everything you said. You have some money saved up. You don't have no debt. You got no kids, and you're moving to the South. Okay, all right. I don't know if you're a male or a female, but anybody who's watching, y'all might want to check out Young Deity. Young Deity's making good moves, because that's good. Because a lot of people who have no savings, a very low income, a ton of debt, and a bunch of kids, like and worthless ass baby daddies. I mean, if you talk about, like a manual on how to really just fuck up your life. Like, there are some people who read the manual from cover to cover on exactly how to make your life as absolutely as painful as possible. I'm not making fun of anybody. Don't get me wrong. But kids need to go to school just literally to learn how to live, how to make good choices. Like, that should be a class. Like, literally, if you put a child in a class called How to Make Good Choices in Life and made them study in that class for 5 years, that child will be very successful. Like, I think that will be enough to replace the entire educational system. Just some training on life, like how to not make dumbass decisions. You know, because I know people like that. I knew, I knew this young lady I mentored, and it kind of pissed me off because I told her exactly what type of man not to have a baby with, and of course she goes and gets pregnant by two guys who are exactly identical to the types of men I told her not to go have babies with. Didn't get an education, income is dead, student loan debt, got student loans but didn't finish school. So now you're 30 years old, you got two kids with two men who are not helping you. You have no income or very low income, a ton of debt, and no skill. Like, you not so it's like being stuck in the mud because you drove in the mud, but then the car you're going to use to get out of the mud is broken down. Somebody needs to teach these little motherfuckers how to make good choices. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss. Y'all got to forgive me. It's Saturday night, so I'm just going to be honest with y'all guys. It just really bothers me, and anybody who's under the age of 30 who's listening, please God, go get advice from smart older people before you. I mean, because some of the choices that they like, it's almost like people just make you feel like you're supposed to ruin your life. Like if you're in your 20s, you're supposed to do everything possible to put yourself in the most fucked up situation imaginable, and then feel sorry for yourself because you're black. I just don't get that. I just don't, and I'm sorry, And I think in general, like most of the things that people struggle with are things that are preventable if you prepare them in advance, if you can engage in any form of delayed gratification. And so I would encourage anybody in here that wants to be smart, don't just do things because everybody else is doing it. Like just think about something as simple as sex. Everybody makes you think that you're supposed to just have as much irresponsible sex as you possibly can with whoever you decide to hook up with. I'm not here to tell you not to hook up with anybody. I'm just here to tell you that there's always a consequence to every choice you make. And for people to make you think that there is a way to have a reckless life consequence free, that person is lying to you. They don't care about you. Anybody been watching that show with Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart? And Kevin Hart is a comedian. He plays a comedian who's famous and he's making all this money. And it's called True Stories on Netflix. It's extremely good. And it's like that, right? Kevin Hart's character is straight laced. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't use drugs. And he lets his older brother convince him to have one night where he gets drunk and a little bit high. And next thing you know, there's a dead woman in his bed. Now I haven't seen past episode 1, so I can't speak much to the show. But it just kind of is one of those things that just says that really people that tend to be really successful, I find, are people that kind of operate on a little bit of the straight and narrow. Like they avoid things like alcohol and drugs. They're not just going to sleep with you. Like a smart man is not just going to sleep with you just because you got a big butt and a smile. He's going to think about the consequences, like what's this going to look like, or he's not going to go waste his money on stupid stuff. And I think the culture pushes stupidity onto people, and to the point where even smart people feel like there's something wrong with them for actually being smart. So yeah, but there's a formula for success in life, and a lot of people are either never taught the formula or they don't apply it. And so I just encourage you, figure out the formula and apply that shit. Don't do what everybody else is doing, or you'll be sad like everybody else. Rain Chief says, where's he reading these questions from? I'm reading them on the screen. Varapadot, will the price of vehicles and parts return to normal in the near future? I believe that it will. I think that there is a supply bottleneck that's causing temporary inflation. Would you ever consider going into politics, says Pat B? No, I would not. I hate politics. It makes people stupid and it doesn't get anything done, in my view, to be honest with you. No disrespect to the politicians, but I just am not a big fan of politics at all. Jason Rock, Doc, I currently live in Louisville. Are there any people I can link up with to help me grow my business? Kari Muhammad, Khari. Kari Muhammad is my man, and he lives right in Louisville, Kentucky. He's one of the most solid black people I've ever met. And when you see him, tell him I sent you and tell him that I love him and respect him immensely. Black Shadow, you remind me of my teacher, Mr. Boyd. He was writing on the chalkboard the whole class and hit him with paper balls and a big one. Hello from Orlando, says Ingrid. Hello, Ingrid. Good to see you. Casey, Spider, how and where do I invest $1,000? Yeah, SPD as in David, the Spider, S&P 500 Spider. You can find it on Robinhood. Just look up S&P 500 Spider or SPDR, and you'll find it. It's right there. Kamer says, very impressive. Thank you. Black Shadows laughing. Jimmy Davis says, love the knowledge. Well, I love you too. Philip, I would like to invest in an African consumer goods company but can't find a way. Funds and ETFs registered in the US or Europe all hold mostly commodities companies. Do you know a way? There are some companies, but you know what? I don't know any right offhand. But there are probably some mutual funds that invest in Africa. So you may want to look into that. So you may want to look like Vanguard. They probably have mutual funds that invest in Africa. Maya Mel says, do you sleep? Yes, I take 2 naps a day. French Marco Rose, when do we stop talking and start doing? We're already doing. A lot of doing is actually happening. I'm telling you, there's so much great stuff being done. So you got to talk while you're doing too, because you're also teaching and learning and building and growing and connecting. But there is some doing that's actually happening. Has anybody ever been to the Black House? The Tulsa Real Estate Fund built that beautiful Black House. It's a multi-million-dollar facility down in Atlanta that is absolutely gorgeous. And I love the Black House so much. I actually got an office there. My wife and I have an office in the Black House, and I bought it. I just closed on a property in Atlanta because I want to be in Atlanta. Atlanta's where it's at as far as Black people go. Like that's the mecca. That's where all the great big moves are happening. That's where I want to be. So I want to be down with my brothers and sisters in Atlanta because they're just getting it done, and I just have so much respect for that. Michelle Washington, Bitcoin is dropping. Do you think it will continue to dive? That's a tough one, Michelle. I think that Bitcoin was expected to dive a little because it took off so much. I don't think it's going to continue diving though. Like all indicators long term point to upward price mobility on Bitcoin. So I'm planning to actually keep buying more of it. Let's see. Ruin Chief Talk says, how do you feel about banding together to get business on land owned by righteous people for low rent? Um, I mean, I support that. Have you heard of Hereafter Farms? Hereafter Farms is a really great concept. Brother Ben X is working on that. There's a lot of good things people are doing. A brother down in Houston, I forgot his name. Can't remember his name. Oh gosh. Oh, his name is out of my brain, but he's down in Houston doing some really awesome multi-million-dollar project where he is not evicting the low rent tenants, which is really great. He's doing it right in the middle of Fifth Ward too. Chris, I want to say his name. I cannot remember his name, but he's super smart. I really like the guy a lot. I had a great conversation with him. I'm gonna try one more time, see if I can remember his name. Chris. Damn, his name is not in my head. Is it Spiegel? No, it's not Spiegel. Senegal, Chris Senegal. Chris Senegal is doing a great project down in Houston. I was really impressed when I heard it, and he's doing a good job of gentrifying the neighborhood without booting everybody out. And I just think that's a beautiful model. I really got a good energy from his spirit, and he seemed to really know what he was talking about. And I have a lot of respect for what he's doing. Casey Shanti Lamb says, when do we register for the Black Business School, and is there one-on-one coaching when needed? Yes, Casey. How about this? You can go to boycewatkins.com, and there's a link to the Black Business School there, as well as the Black Friday discounts and stuff like that. And also, there is some one-on-one coaching, even directly from me. It's not cheap, but if you email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, I do actually talk to people one-on-one. We haven't brought in other coaches that can actually work with people one-on-one yet. Although that is a good concept, though I may actually talk to the team about implementing something like that. So that's actually a good idea now that I think about it. Actually, I must send a message to my secretary about that because that's a good thought. RB Gall, let's see, says this RBG all day, every day says, I said RB Gall, RBG all day, every day. I work 2 jobs for right now. I work for FedEx and security. I love martial arts and Afrocentric. Is there a way to make some extra money? It seems like you've learned a lot. You love martial arts. Is there a business in martial arts that you can participate in? Is there? I think what you might want to do is what I would do is, when I was trying to learn how to be an entrepreneur, I knew I had to change my thinking, right? So I wanted to be in spaces and listen to podcasts with people with an entrepreneurial mindset, so I can learn how to identify the opportunities that were around me, right? So I would encourage you to do that. Just start taking it in. Like if I wanted to be a rapper, I wouldn't sit down and try like take a class on how to rap, but I wouldn't try to like read a book on rapping. I would just go hang out in the studio and I will watch other rappers and I will listen to as much music as possible so that I could eventually pull together a nice mix that really worked for me. Do you see what I mean? So the same thing is true when you're talking about the culture of entrepreneurship. I encourage you to get into the culture so that you can connect, so you can actually connect with the culture of entrepreneurship. It really is a way of thinking. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm actually getting tired now. I've been doing this for 33 minutes and 36 seconds. So by the way, if you want to see what's going on in the Black Business School, like our Black Friday discounts and stuff, like the crypto Forex program and stuff, go to boycewatkins.com. It's right there at the top. And I'll be back around a little bit later. So have a good night, everybody. And I'll come back in and do another Q&A like this in the near future. Now I think I'm finding myself dozing off, so I better go to sleep. So talk to you soon. Love you. Have a good night. Be good. Peace.